Oh, hey, whoever's I'm exploiting the algorithm and liking myself because bad coding, they left that in there. It's not a hack, it's an exploit. Hey, George over there on YouTube, Uncle Birch coming to you live on TikTok and YouTube simultaneously. Coming to you live from New Orleans, Beltane. Hey, Samuel Gray and Angelix. How are you? How are you? Where are you? Red Clouds. Hello, how are you? Oh, look, I just gave myself 205 likes because I can. Let's see. Doing good. All right, good. Where are you from? I don't think I know you. George, I'm sure I've asked you that before, so I don't remember where you're from, but I know you told me before. Lex Wolf, hello. Uncle Birch coming to you live on two platforms at once, on two separate devices. Broke Bitch Boutique. How are you? Any recommendations on hotel accommodations for Hexfest? I'm debating whether to go or not. Was it the Plaza de Arms?
Place d'Armes is where the presenters stay, and we really liked it.
Yep.
Of course, there's always the Bourbon Orleans. That's
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing that's more expensive,
Yeah. I
but
mean,
that's the most convenient place.
yeah. And Bourbon Orleans is, yeah, that's most convenient because that's where the venue or where it happens. The Plaza de Arms is about like half a block away.
Yeah, it's really close.
It's where most of the presenters are housed. There's
And
like,
I know it's less expensive,
yeah,
especially in August.
yeah.
Really
They have this
cheap.
chill little pool and courtyard where you can hang out, meet some presenters and stuff. Um, and that's where I spent a lot of my time there. We were in it was August 2019 in New Orleans, 110 degrees outside. We never actually turned on the air conditioning in the hotel room. Just the ceiling fan was enough. And I don't know when I've ever been able to say that in
We didn't
August
have
in
any
New Orleans.
windows, so
And
that
we didn't
might
have
have
any
been
windows that might have
a big
helped.
part of it.
Let's see, which please? Oh, you're in New York, right on. Well, you should come because I'm teaching three classes, typically only one class. Okay, Samuel Graywich is from Arkansas. Hello, good, good. Dang, I wish I could. Just heading out to pick up groceries here in Iowa. I might still be here. Attitude Caffeinated, hello. Be sure and follow me. If you're not following over here on TikTok, be sure and follow me at Uncle Birch 4. And which school? WITCHSKEWL, because I have an onslaught of mass reporting going on right now, so I expect that account to be in jail any day now. But Brooks was here. Yeah, the Bourbon Orleans Hotel is where Hexfest happens. Uh, it's an old venue with a history of hauntings. It used to be a convent at one time. Oh, thank you for sending the roses. It just became a top viewer. Oh, cool. Bewitched Mistress became a top. I didn't even know I had top viewers. Every so often, go over here and like the page by tapping over here on TikTok, and I can do it myself too because they pay monkeys to code their app, or they don't pay them. They force monkeys to code their app. Spamming the like button works. Yes, it does actually. Um, hey, Shannon's Neil, how are you? So spamming the like button works. Yes, yeah, it does. It does. I gave myself 200 likes at the beginning of the show, and they say that the more likes you get, the more viewers are attracted to your lives. So it behooves all of us to have more traffic. I'm Uncle Birch. I teach witchcraft for a living, if you don't already know, here in New Orleans. And my next class starts tonight around midnight, hopefully. If I'm not, three sheets to the wind, I'll launch that thing at midnight. But May
You're gonna be
1st,
busy at midnight.
yes, May 1st, 2022, the next witch school starts. So that'll be tonight. You can go over there to gumroad.com/witch school, WITCHSKEWL. Set yourself up an account and follow me, and when I launch the class, you will be notified. Also, tonight, the second level class launches too, so I'm sure there's going to be some confusion. So make sure you're looking at level 1 if you're trying to get in level 1, and level 2 if you're trying to get in level 2. I'll try and spell them differently or make them look very different, or write it all in caps to make sure. But two classes launching tonight. It's Marta without the H. Somebody's saying, "Hi, Aunt Marta." Hello, California, Luna Platinum. Part of California, big place. California native here. Now we're living in New Orleans. Yeah, I may have offended monkeys with that remark. Uh, this is Wade. Oh, which please is Wade. Okay, you ever come back to Facebook, Wade?
Wait.
I still see your page. Do you work with African Americans? Yes, all time. I'm in New Orleans, so we kind of all work together. And um, cultural appropriation is not a word you hear very often around here. Northern California by the Nevada border. Oh no, like not Grass Valley or something, right? It's kind of by the Nevada border, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Lived there once.
Maybe in that area, like the county.
Yeah. Are you Oscar Kilo? Hey, how are you? Jackson here. Hello. Venice Beach native hanging out in the Mojave Desert. Moment. Venice Beach is an interesting place.
Yeah.
It used to. I think it kind of went downhill with the homeless problem in LA. It just kind of became dingy. It used to be, freaky. And you go there to see freaks and stuff, and the Muscle
I
Beach
think
and
they
shit like
still
that.
have freaks there, but
Yeah,
it's gotten so expensive.
yeah.
Kind of like SF. It drives all the people who made it special. They have to leave.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yeah. We Pisces are lazy folks. Well, yeah, it's been like years, so yeah, you're fucking lazy, dude. Homeless just out of fashion now. Are you initiated with different practices? Yes, in my witchcraft tradition, I'm initiated up to high priest and Tata, which is a priest in Palo Mayombe. So, yes. I mean, technically, in my parent tradition, I'm now an elder because I'm old, so beyond high priest now, I guess. Marta's not old enough. Has to be a high priestess. Planning to return to Facebook. Love from India. All right, hello. Uncle Birch coming to you live on YouTube and TikTok. So if you want to see the rebroadcast or something you missed or something like that, the way TikTok live happens when I go off, the video disappears, but it'll be same video, different commenters over here on YouTube. Just look for Uncle Birch. Like I like to say, Google me, bitches. Somebody was bitching last night. No, use DuckDuckGo. It's like, I'm not going to use the search engine that Trump supporters use because I don't want Google to track my purchases. What am I hiding?
so important.
Yeah, what am I hiding for? There's been plenty of times Google's like saved me some searching because they already, were listening to me and knew what I was going to go search for. No, I'm not worried about that. But DuckDuckGoing is not a thing. DuckDuckGoing is not in the dictionary. Googling is. Googling is a thing. To Google somebody is a thing. To DuckDuckGo somebody is not a thing. So, I don't know about having to download a piece of software to search with. I don't like that very much. Before I have to go, where'd the birch come from, Uncle Birch? The first witch store to open in my hometown of Santa Cruz, California. Everybody had to pick a witch name to be known by and only be known in the shop by that name. Growing up in the back of a witch store, I recognized that it was a very important position to be in, as I would be the gateway for what you would call baby witches. But I would be the gateway for new witches, and it would be my job to know all of the different players, the different groups, different covens, whatnot around the town to direct these people to. The first letter in the Druidic tree alphabet is Birch. It is the gateway to the other world. That's why I picked that name, and then Uncle just got attached because I'm older than most people. Like I used to be Phil Free, And in my activist days, a lot of the people I was hanging out with were college kids, so I was much older than them. So Uncle Phil became a thing, and then somehow Uncle Birch just happened too. How's one start being initiated? It depends on the practice. Everybody has their own ways. I talked about witchcraft, and I talked about Palomayombe. We are getting ready to do some mass initiations once like Wade, I'm lazy. Once I figure out how to do it all on Zoom or something, um, I got students all over the world, um, and probably about 100 of them waiting on initiation right now. So we're going to figure out how to do that. But being that I have students all over the world, I can't expect everybody to come here, and I don't want them to come here. I'll teach you, but that doesn't mean I'm going to invite you to my house. Trying to make it to the eye of the cat today. Right on. Tell him Uncle Birch said hi. Greetings and salutations, Starman 2. Hello, how are you? Where are you from? I always like to hear that. Got a wonderful crowd over here on TikTok. YouTube, you're lagging over here, man. You guys are lagging. I don't know what you're doing. It's so damn important out here. Not a whole lot going on over there. So I'm live on TikTok and YouTube simultaneously on 2 separate devices. Uncle Birch, teaching witchcraft for a living. My next class launches tonight. A lot of people have been asking for that one. It's a great time of year to start. It's Beltane. It's everybody's favorite holiday. It's all about stuff that I probably can't talk about on TikTok. San Diego's Eye of the Cat. San Diego's Eye of the Cat. Haven't been in years. Oh, you're in San Diego. Okay. Yeah, Eye of the Cat's 3314 East Broadway, Long Beach, California, 90803. Who was it that called me a senile old man last night? Greetings, Bangor, Maine. Enjoy the solar eclipse. Oh, you got the solar eclipse over there? I didn't even hear about that. So wait a minute. So we got the dark moon on Beltane Eve and the solar eclipse. Kids, if you ain't planting some shit tonight, you're fucking up. The most magically fertile time to come down the pike in probably my memory. I can't even remember the last time we had a new moon on Beltane Eve, but then the second moon, the black moon on Beltane Eve. That's definitely time for clearing the fields and planting. The wicked evil Zoot, you're my stalker, so if you better form a club. Too caffeinated. Check that out. Yes, 3314 East Broadway, Long Beach, California, 90803. I remember that from when I was a kid, when I first discovered the store. Amazing the stuff that sticks. Double new month solar eclipse brings about. Yeah. Okay, yes. I guess I kind of heard there was going to be a solar eclipse, but didn't pay much attention to it.
I think it's right now.
Yeah. WhatsApp crazy people, boring people. Yeah, it's one I'm not on yet. I'm not on WhatsApp. I am on Patreon now. You can find me on Patreon. Uncle Birch should be able to find it. What is it? Instagram, Uncle Birch _witch. I should just change it to Uncle Birch because the _witch really isn't driving traffic. Enjoying the new moon on Saturn, yes. Do you know the lies the government is told? Yeah, I'm a lifelong anarchist, militant revolutionary, and I probably knew most of that stuff before you were a sperm. We got all these woke people, and that's great that people are woke. We called it in the 90s smashing our heads against the machine. And we were the only people smashing our heads against the machine, and most of the population was asleep. So it warms my heart to see people waking up and knowing the shit that I've known for a very long fucking time. Let's see, looking over here on YouTube. Hey, there's a thing called WhatsApp. I thought that was a funny way to say what's up. Oh, okay. I get it. Milton Knowles, the insane witch king. Yeah, I'm not sure what's. I know there's like A lot of politicians seem to use WhatsApp. I don't really know what it is. I think it's texting or something like that. Now, what's the one where the text disappears that the kids were all into?
Snapchat, maybe?
Snapchat. Yeah, I don't know that one either. That asshole! How are you? Can you use mantras in Hinduism with witchcraft? Absolutely. A lot of early witchcraft, when Gardner was forming Wicca, required meditation practices, yet there were no Western meditation practices for him to draw off of, so he drew from Hindu practices. So a lot of the meditation techniques we typically see in Wicca and stuff, very Hindu based. Hail to thee, Uncle Birch. Freighter Fraxinus, hey, how are you over here on YouTube? The politicians are using it, or you know, people that are up to no good. Yeah, yeah, I kind of expect the politicians to start using Snapchat. I guess she's ASM martyr. Martyr. Oh, we talk about crazy fool over there on TikTok. Yeah, it was quite a day and night with that person. I blocked 5 of their accounts now. They'll keep making other accounts, but that puts me in control. If I can make you jump, then you are the puppet, and I can say dance, puppet, dance. So I've had her dancing all night on all of her different accounts, and then recently started mass reporting all of her different accounts. Unblock long enough to mass report it and then block again. We'll see what happens. 2 can play at that game. Or actually, I got about 5,000. 5,000 can play at that game. That's my followers now on Uncle Birch 3. But be sure and follow me on Uncle Birch 4 and Witch School, WITCHSKEWL. I have like 5 pending appeals right now. TikTok's been doing some weird shit because I have 2 pending appeals from 2 months ago. And they usually, you know, within the day, usually get to your appeal. So there's something about the appeal people on TikTok. They're not showing up to work, or they're not doing their job, or maybe they closed down that office, but they're just not looking at the appeals very often. So yes, I have created mantras for completed sigils. Yes, probably my favorite that everybody knows, that the ching 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 goes the money tree. You heard that one? You know, you could just Google ching 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 goes the money tree. You'll find that. That person, as far as I can tell, is not magically inclined, nor do they call themselves a witch or anything like that. But that particular chant, the ching 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 goes the money tree, is absolutely accurate by all of the rules of linguistical witchcraft, even to the point where there are no negatives in the statement. It's pretty great. I got back into the March Witch School. Oh, good. Give me a shout at gumroad.com/witch school, WITCHSKEWL. Let me know if you missed any classes. I don't know how long you were out. There is a thing that has come up when people have like gotten kicked out of the class because their card didn't go through or something. You know, if that takes like a month, it's going to throw off the thing. Like when you rejoin, the class is 12 months. So if you rejoin the class, it looking like it starts the 12 months where you joined. So that'll become really important when the class is about over. and hopefully you write that down and remember that, so we don't have to remember that. That's what happened. Yeah. So if I think when you rejoin, it restarts the 12 months. So when we get up to the end of the class, we're going to need you to remember to unsubscribe, or they'll charge you again. I mean, maybe you're a month behind on your charges, and that'll be fine. But that has happened to a couple people, and I haven't really been able to get Gumroad to fix that. Oh, Penny Walters. Okay. Hey, how are you? All right, so you're back in the March class. Cool. The next classes start tonight. I've got level 1 Witch School, $40 a month for a year. I've got level 2 Witch School, $40 a month for a year. Both of those are launching tonight. Perfect witchy time to launch a class. I'm just reading the comments over here on YouTube. See if I. Morning, afternoon to all from SoCal. All right, we got a lot of people in SoCal over there. Got somebody on their way to the Eye of the Cat in Long Beach right now. Hey, Freighter X fan here. First time really listening. Very new beginner. Hey, how are you, Adam? Freighter X is a bro of mine. We are. Well, I shouldn't say in negotiations, but he's a hard man to get a hold of, and I'm one of the few people that can get a hold of him, and one of the few people that knows his secret identity. We're going to be having him on Widdershins really damn soon. You can see the rebroadcast of Widdershins over here on YouTube. I think it posts about, within a half an hour of the show ending, but the show typically happens Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Central. We take off whenever we want to take off. We have a Facebook page called Widdershins. Where we make that announcement. You can find the Widdershins podcast most places that you find your podcast, and if you can't find us there, then the place you're getting your podcast sucks ass and you should go elsewhere. Freighter Xavier is going to be coming on. It's an audio podcast, so it'll work. Freighter Xavier will not show his face, and that's totally cool. That's his mystery school thing. But we have a hard yes from him. We just need to nail down the time. It'll either be a pre-recorded broadcast, or we'll hopefully have him live. He's still sleeping on your books. When I want to absorb things, yes, I still do that. Cool. I'm in Illinois myself, so Central Time works. Great. Right on. Yeah. Let's see if we can get him on this week. We got a couple guests in the wings that we got to get on. But Freighter Xavier, that's gonna be something. To my knowledge, I don't know anybody that's landed an interview with Freighter Xavier. So our hits are going to go through the roof, and we'll probably get paid more from that episode from the commercials and shit too. I heard about you through Freighter X. So many people learned about me through Freighter X. Our shop was getting a lot of traffic, probably because Freighter Xavier kept plugging it. However, right now the shop is closed. I don't know. I hope they're going to be able to get their shit together and open again, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like they want to do that. So I may have to figure out another way to start up the shop again and have somebody run the shop, because we've already got people chomping at the bit out there for Uncle Birch's stuff. And it was working out pretty well there, but right now the Lover's Hermetic Supply is not happening. Hello, the Spirit Witch. How are you? Didn't we have a fun night last night? Continuing into today. I'm still waiting for that Hispanic lady to catch you stealing her herbs. Well, we don't go there anymore. That's back in California, and we have our own rue. I had this epic rue plant with me for like 5 years. It even survived that place in California where it snowed, and I think the pot wasn't draining well. We get like a foot of rain a minute when the rain really starts coming here in New Orleans, which back in California we would have loved that. And I think it got root rot. I was so bummed that root plant died. That's my most important plant is fucking rue. I gotta have my fucking rue. And it just died. But there was this shit ass, like plastic faded pink, ugly fucking rectangular pot that I think we grew some mint in there one time or something. It was just,
It was left behind.
Yeah, it was left behind by the
would've bought
previous
some.
owner. It was just fucking ugly, but it was sitting in close proximity to my rue, and my rue did go to seed, but I've never seen rue seed itself. And now I've got like 3 baby rue plants off of that mother rue plant. Howdy, neighbors.
Hey. Or afternoon, I guess. I just woke
It's
up from a
pretty
nap,
much
so
the
it's
same.
like a really good nap. I was like, what day is it? Just go to work.
I'm like that a lot. Hey,
Mojo.
don't bark at her.
Are
I know.
sunflowers facing you?
That's how you say hi.
Yeah, it's getting nice and big now.
That is. The other ones are laggers.
Yeah, we have 2
I mean, we
more.
planted the other 2 at the same time, and they're just not growing the same way. You're talking to the neighbor.
We got passion flowers coming out the wazoo.
It's going nuts.
But no fruit on them yet. So
Yeah.
I don't know. Hopefully they're gonna grow fruit too.
Yeah. I haven't seen a whole lot of bees, but we got a lot of wasps around. I think they pollinate shit.
Yeah.
Bees really like that catmint that we planted over
Yeah.
there, so they should be visiting soon, I hope.
Plants are weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you never know what's gonna happen with them.
Okay, what's this, guys?
Every day I'm surprised at like what lives and what doesn't. You know, it's.
Yeah.
I just came out here to pick some basil.
Mm.
Oh, what is wrong with you? Hey, you can come over and see me?
As long as you don't bite her.
Yeah, don't bite me anymore.
He does the same thing. He does it to me too when he's excited. He just wants to play. Hey,
Okay, alright.
hey,
I ain't being aggressive.
Yeah.
Just saying hi.
you're being aggressive, Mojo. Rude. Stop. Hey,
Mojo.
go in the house. Get in the
He's
house.
fine.
Get in the house. You're annoying
He's
me.
a dog. He's an idiot. It's just,
I'm on camera over here and you're going
one
nuts.
day he'll grow up and be a real boy.
We thought getting him neutered was going to solve everything,
Hey.
but
Mojo.
He's just
Come here.
territorial.
Come here.
Clearly.
Yeah, he is.
It's fine. It's fine.
Stop it.
I was trying to loosen up your sunflower. It's okay. And I don't think the cat helps because I caught the cat yesterday walking up and down this fence.
Really?
And I was like, oh, no wonder he's so aggressive. The freaking cat is like challenging him every day.
Hey, KGM. Well, to June 21st. My first year should be finishing up soon. For level 2. Do I need to unsubscribe for level 1 and then subscribe to level 2? Yeah, that's what I would do if there's been any lag, or if you like left the class or got kicked out of the class and then rejoined. It's taken us a long time to figure out what the hell this was, because Gumroad kept like overcharging people, and then I have to give them refunds and shit. And so it turns out, when you rejoin the class, your 12 months starts again. And that's a glitch we haven't been able to fix over there at Gumroad. So if that happened and you are towards the end of your class, it would be a good idea to download all the classes and unsubscribe, or unsubscribe from the class right around the end of the class, or you're going to get charged again, and then I'll have to figure it out. My mother-in-law coached me through it. Okay. Let's see, what do we got going on over here on TikTok? One of my sacred necklaces broke. All the stones and crystals break now. Does that mean something? It can mean something, but most times doesn't. My tata always said, don't be a fanatic. Hey,
It's just basil.
I'm the
dude.
alpha, okay? I'm in charge.
You want
You-
some basil?
you're
That's
not
all
even
I'm doing
beta.
is picking the basil, dude.
You're like Zeta. You're so far down the scale, okay? What's the info for my August event? I will be at Hex Fest August 12th to the 14th here in New Orleans. It's an epic event. I'm teaching 3 workshops. The entire thing starts with a tour
We got
on the
fruit.
riverboat. We got a what?
We got
fruit.
fruit.
Oh, you did. You were just saying we didn't have
Hey.
fruit.
Yeah, I didn't think we had any fruit. I just noticed it just now.
Cool.
So you can get over to hexfest.com and look at that
Sorry.
and sign up. No, it's okay.
Trying to work.
Got
I know,
it's
like
reality
this
television. We got to roll with what happens. That's cool. We
thing.
definitely.
Oh,
Come
hush
here.
up.
Come
Don't
here.
eat my passion fruit.
I am sick of your crap. Stop it.
He's sweet.
Oh man, your basil smells good.
He's a dumbass.
I totally smell your basil now. Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got
Y'all
some
want
over
some?
here. No, we got a
Yeah, we
basil
got
over
some
there.
growing. Thank you.
I think we got some growing inside too. But yeah, the whole thing starts on we take a riverboat up and down the Mississippi. There's an epic dinner with pretty much everything you'd want to eat in New Orleans, except for crawfish, because it's not crawfish season. But there's a ritual, and on the thing you get to hear Christian Day sing the Marie Laveau song. It's fucking epic. There's nothing like Hex Fest. And Hexfest, you get some of the best presenters of any witchcraft festival because they pay. You know, these are the people that are only going to show up if they get paid. They're not going to get some schmuck from TikTok presenting at Hexfest. But this particular Hexfest, I'm teaching 3 classes. Locals, people who live in New Orleans, typically teach 1 class. And I'll be at Hexfest probably forever. And usually you're going to get 1 class out of me. I got 3 classes going on. You get over there to hexfest.com, see what Michael Carell's teaching. It says Michael Carell. You click on it. It also says also known as Uncle Birch, but that's my legal name. See what I'm teaching. I kind of forgot what I'm teaching, but I recall that it's epic. And Spear Witch is going to be there. I think Santa Muerte Witch is going to be there. I think Attitude Caffeinated Since you're going to be there. Zephyr Green's going to be there. We're going to have like some of the best of the TikTok witches coming to Hexfest. Not presenting. That'll be me. But going to be there, hanging with us and stuff. It's a town that's got a buttload of witches, but Hexfest weekend, it's 5 buttloads. I haven't noticed any issues. Thank you. Still trying to figure out how to use the site. Thank you for the call. Oh, good. As far as I know, you get a notification when each class launches, and they're on Gumroad in your library. Having never taken my class, I don't know, but Marta's taken the class, so that's what she described to me too. She gets a little notification when it happened. One day I'll present. I need to finish my first book. Well, I'll definitely put in a word for you, sure as hell. I got the Gumroad app, and I love it.
Whenever I get an app for something, it's usually a lot more helpful than not having that.
Yeah.
Check it out.
I might have to get it. I mean, I have a Gumroad app that just tells me my sales and stuff, but not an app where you can go there. Grammy Druid's here. Hello, Grammy Druid. It says invite Grammy Druid to go live. You want to go live, Grammy Druid? Because I remember A Sleepless Mind way back when I was a noob on TikTok. And I'm going, who is this woman attacking this old lady? That's you, old lady, by the way. And I couldn't believe what was going on. My love for art says hello to Grammy Druid over here on YouTube. We're coming to you live on YouTube and TikTok simultaneously. I'm going to invite Grammy Druid to go live. Let's see if she wants to do that. Invite sent. Because she had me live on her live one time, so yeah. I need to hex. Yeah, but I remember way back in the day, and that's when I first discovered, it's like there was all these witch wars going on TikTok, and I realized, oh my God, all of the major players in this thing are following me. So that's when I started trying to, post words of wisdom, that kind of shit to the community. Too little avail. All right, well, I did invite Grammy Druid to go live with me and see what she's doing. She might not have her hairs did. Might not have her face on. For your class, Forks and Knives. What about for my class? Let's see. I don't see the last thing that Forks and Knives said. Be a Hexfest next year. Okay, well, I'm sure I'll be teaching 1 workshop there. So I'm teaching 3 workshops this Hexfest and a panel. I don't think I know what the panel is yet, right? No.
Maybe it's up now,
Hit
but last time I
accept.
checked it.
Okay. She hit accept. Now what the fuck do I do? Co-host? Let me see. Currently somebody's currently co-hosting something. All right, I clearly don't know how to do this. Oh, accept. There we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Grammy Druid, what's going on?
Hail and welcome.
Merry meet again.
Hair. Hey, look, I'm alive.
Whoops. Okay, hold on. I gotta invite Grammy Druid again. Grammy Druid won. All right, yeah, Grammy Druid bumped into something apparently. Aunt Marta is the high priestess of the Druidic craft of the wise. Let's see, do I gotta do something again? Okay, I invited Grammy Druid again. There she is. Where's she? I see her little window down there. Grammy Druid bumped into something.
I'm here.
You are there. I don't see you anymore.
I see you.
Huh? I see a thing that says Grammy Druid won, but I think your camera got turned off or something.
No, my camera's on, or I wouldn't be able to see me.
That's weird. What did I do here? Let's click.
Oh, it's ASM and her demon fuckery.
Yeah.
Oh, ASM later. Okay.
Yeah. I have watched this thing go on for my entire time on TikTok, and I knew she was following me, and I, for the most part, stayed out of it. I did offer Enigma Witch some help one time when she was being attacked by a sleepless whatever. But it's just, I mean, that's literally all this person does on the app, man. So I had enough. I think she actually mentioned me in a video or something like that, said that I tried to sell her my classes or something like that. I said, oh, no. Now you brought me
Only
into
one
it.
video?
Huh?
You're a newbie.
Yeah.
Only one video? You're a newbie.
Mm-hmm.
Come on now.
Yeah, she never come at me before. Very few people do. I mean, I am known for teaching magical warfare. I'm sure that's going to be one of the classes at Hexfest this year, so maybe that's not the kind of guy to mess with. I don't know. But it's pretty rare that I have anybody come at me.
I need to come down there and do Hex Fest. I've never taught at Hex
Yeah.
Fest.
Yeah.
You need to do that.
Yeah, if you hit him up, and I'll tell him I know you, and yeah, I think that's it's time for that. Most times, you know, at these witch festivals, we get authors and things, and I don't think being an author is the thing anymore. I just know so many big name pagans that have not written a fucking book. It's about the internet
I get
right now.
asked all the time why I
Yeah.
haven't, and I just don't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
And I travel all the up through here doing festivals and stuff, but I've not been down there.
Yeah. Well, like I was saying before, I don't know if you were here, but the Hex Fest gets some of the best presenters around because it's one of the few festivals to pay their presenters. And
I get paid.
yeah, but I mean, so many festivals don't. Like the big one in California was always PantheaCon, and if you presented there, you had to actually pay admission to
And your
get
hotel.
and your hotel and your travel, all that.
PantheaCon is basically the Grammy Awards of paganism. If you go out there or get invited to speak,
What's it called?
you're supposed to be the cream of the crop. And
She's talking about PantheaCon, I think.
Are you talking about PantheaCon? Are you talking about PantheaCon, or I didn't hear the name?
PantheaCon?
Yeah. Yeah, it's gone. It's no longer a thing. They now.
Oh, well, I
yeah.
wonder why.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing was they came up with the new festival, and they called it Between the Veils. For those new witches out here, Between the Worlds is a thing. Beyond the Veil is a thing. There's no between the veils. It's like somebody that heard some craft sayings and threw them together in a blender. Between the veils would be like purgatory. At any rate, yeah.
I have been to some pagan festivals that seem like purgatory.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so many of them don't pay. But now there's WitchCon happens at the same weekend that PantheaCon used to happen. WitchCon's a digital festival. It's all, you get people from all over the world for that one.
I do something once a year, or I did prior to COVID though, where I invite all the big name pagans and the musical acts to come to my house.
Yeah, I remember you used to do that.
We put on a one-day event.
Mm-hmm.
We do a one-day event that's totally free, and it gives people the opportunity to experience what it's like that maybe could never go.
Yeah.
To event, and we have a blast.
Yeah, I remember back in the day you were doing that. Yeah, back before COVID, I guess. Yeah.
Back before COVID, yeah, we had a big time blast, and I try to do things. I mean, I know it's our job. Don't get me wrong, and I know that this is what we do. But I try to give back a little bit to community and say, hey, come out, have fun, eat, enjoy some music, take some classes,
Yeah.
get to meet people one on one.
I performed the full moon ritual in my hometown for 13 years straight because somebody else had a great idea. They said, hey, we should have a full moon ritual that's open to the public because nobody does that. People tend to do the Sabbats open to the public and the Esbats are private. And I said, well, that's a great idea. We should do that. And, about 2 rituals later, that person stopped showing up. And I'm from the party of personal responsibility. So it became my job. I did the entire ritual with the guitar and a song. And no ritual tools.
There you go.
But 13 years, never missed the damn thing. Haven't done
But
shit
did you
since New
clean
Orleans.
everything with incense wand before you did it, though? That's what I wanted.
Well, we were at the beach. It didn't require much cleansing at all. We're on the salt sand. We had a fire pit.
I'm on a tear about it, right?
A
All
what?
these people that are lighting incense and cleansing stuff with it,
Yeah.
thinking they're accomplishing something.
Yeah. I think you said it. It's what they think they're doing is consecration, but they're not doing it quite right. Yeah. Yeah.
See, here's the thing, Uncle Birch. People don't understand that the basics and why we teach is that you have to have a foundation.
Yeah.
You have to have something to build on. And if you don't have a foundation, all these grand and wonderful things that you think that you're getting will not work because you have to have something to build it up on. And it drives me crazy where people think that they can do all these things and they don't understand why it's not working because you don't have the basics.
Yeah, that's TikTok mentality. I think I actually did hear it on Facebook a little bit, but I really heard it hardcore on TikTok when I got there. It's like, do whatever you feel, and intent is all that matters. Like, then I should just retire. If that's people should stop writing books. People should stop teaching shit. If that's all that matters.
The word intent is overused.
Yeah.
What it actually means in the craft is different from how it's used on this platform.
Yeah, I use the word will. Will is stronger than intent. We will things to be.
As as I will it be.
Yeah.
It's not how I intend for it to go. There it will be. I will. My will is what makes the train leave the station.
Yep. The spirit witch here says I intended to make $1 million today, but I'm being lazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry that you have become the target of her. She will ride you like a tick on the back of a dog.
Well, if she has any real power, I'll be winning the lottery soon. So it's like I transform that. I have it set up constantly. I have something on the screen right now that nobody can see, but that little transformation thing I do is. There's no way to undo it. there's no reversal. As long as you give me attention and hopefully hex me, I just becomes personal power. So if she actually has any juju, that'd be great, but I don't think she does. But even just her crazy attention will help.
She doesn't have juju, and as you well know, the craft does attract some crazy motherfuckers.
Yes.
And I feel that this is one of those people that if we were teaching in a really big pagan event, we would probably have to have security escort them out.
Yes.
They don't really need to.
Yeah. Where's Grammy Druid from? Good question. I forgot. And yes,
I'm in Tennessee.
Tennessee. Did you go to Cauldron Fest?
No.
Okay. I almost went to that. Never been to Tennessee. And cherry, yes, I'm talking about transmuting. That is another word for it.
what you can also do is you can pull energy and attach it to something that is in perpetual motion and drains people very, very quickly. I think what you're talking about is actually taking their energy and transmuting it into something that you use yourself. But
Yes.
there are other ways that you can drain somebody's meat suit very quickly, depending on what your need is.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yes. It's you can do it like a psychic vampire. Yeah. So yeah, so you're in the Appalachians, Tennessee. You ever run into
Yeah,
the
yeah.
you're a druid, so have you ever run into the druidic craft of the wise around those parts?
No.
No. They're up there. I think the person running it's a Cherokee woman now. Up in the Appalachians.
I think that they're, for some reason, I want to think they're in the Carolinas.
Huh. Well, they could have moved. The origins of the tradition are in the Appalachians, or I mean, the origins of the tradition here in the United States. But I'm not really in touch with
Because
that. What's that?
the name of my druidic order is the Wayist. Wayist.
Okay. I think the other common name for the druidic craft of the wise is the way to perfection.
And I'm a follower of the way. So
See,
I'm
these
wondering.
kids. This is another thing that these kids have lost. You don't know what ways means, do you, people? One of those code words we used to use.
No, no, and I don't talk about it a lot because I some things you just don't need to know.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you just don't throw your pearls out there in front of the swine.
Yeah.
People that know, and those that don't, they don't for a reason. That's the way it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So.
Oh, Lordy. Okay, listen, I got to go scramble some ground beef, man. The Indians around my house are getting angry.
Go cook some stuff.
When I say that, I mean that with all due respect.
Well, happy
I gotta
Beltane.
go cook it.
Have a good Beltane.
Oh, happy Beltane, everybody. Just remember, the dead walk tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Dead walking tonight.
Yeah.
It's not like, see, at Samhain, we cross. But at Beltane, they cross.
Yeah, most people don't talk about
Good
that.
stuff.
We got thin veils on this side of the wheel too. Yep.
Yes. Yeah, let me tell you, people need to be careful tonight.
Okay. Well, you have a good one. Thanks for coming on.
You too. Love you guys.
Get to cooking.
Bye.
Blessed be.
Bye.
Blessed be. Bye. I don't know how to
Wait.
turn it off. I don't
Okay.
know.
Oh, she's gone. Wait. Is that really Witchfoot? Hold on a minute. Hold on. Witchfoot's got so many fucking accounts. If that's Witchfoot, I gotta have her on. Because I've been meaning to talk to Witchfoot about something there. It's Witchfoot! What the fuck? How are you doing? I've been meaning to talk to you about coming on Wittershins, actually. Yes.
Coming on what? What?
Our podcast.
I just woke up.
Our podcast, Wittershins. Our podcast, we've been doing a thing called the Witches of TikTok. And we've got a couple guests from the Root Workers of TikTok. And then we got the Brujos of TikTok. We're doing a whole series. And we try and have 2 guests on at a time. It's an audio podcast. We play a lot of hardcore punk rock and hardcore hip hop and talk about witchcraft and controversial issues and even gossip and witch war news and shit like that people don't want us to talk about.
Well, apparently I am a controversial issue.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Somebody, like, we were talking about, guests that we should have on. Somebody suggested Witchfoot, and I'm going, oh fuck, that's a no-brainer. Why didn't I think of that? Dumb. But we tend to do it on Wednesdays about 5 p.m. Central. You only need like Skype or a phone or something.
Yeah, I'll reach out to you and send you my number.
Yeah.
I was trying to get. I saw who your guest was before, and I was trying to get on with them.
Oh, if I'd have seen it, I would have had you on. I've never had two people on
I
at the
was
same
trying
time.
to stir the pot real quick, but it's all right.
What, you get along with Grammy Druid?
No.
Oh. Oh, that would have been fun. Damn.
Oh,
Damn.
No. Now, I don't
Missed it.
have any problem with her craft. She does do some good Appalachian, so let me make that clear.
Uh-huh.
I respect her completely, but she went down the wrong path with my husband in a way that even I couldn't tolerate. But that does not affect her Appalachian ability.
Yes.
Look, she has a. So anybody watching, she's a very good practitioner. Oh, see her Appalachian work. You know, you can not get along with people and still appreciate their work. Just
There you
so
go.
y'all know.
I just, when out of respect for you, I just stopped talking about your husband. I do have my own opinions on some of his work, but
Well,
I haven't seen him forever, so I don't even know what he's doing now.
a lot of people have an opinion, a negative opinion about my husband, and that's 100% okay.
Yeah.
When you
I think-
step over to the and that's where I get mad.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have negative opinions about Marta's husband.
Yeah.
She deals with it.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't like him. That's I don't know why anybody would think I would want to make them like him.
Yeah.
I don't understand the concept.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know that they had a beef. There's so many beefs going on, I can't keep track of them all.
Well, it's a really old one,
Yeah.
but
Well,
that
your husband, when I first came on TikTok, he was the first person I heard call hoodoo a closed practice. And the thing that really got me is he called it an ATR. And that's like, so I immediately was disagreeing with him on that one.
there's a lot of people on that are with me that say hoodoo is a closed practice. I think it's because they just don't understand that the whites and the slaves, the poor whites and the slaves, and the Native Americans interacted with each other.
Yeah, nobody wants to look at that elephant in the fucking room.
Like the very just plantation owner and just slave owner, but the poor whites, blacks, and the Native Americans intermixed all the time. So there's an entire part of hoodoo that is participated in by white folks.
Yeah. Well,
And,
the slave quarters were right next to the indentured servants' quarters. You know, it's like we lived in these little ghettos of peasants. You know, upper levels of peasantry all the way down to chattel slavery. But we tended to, you know, live in the same fucking areas. And then, you know, later down the road, when when all of the immigrants come over, then we end up in boroughs and ghettos right next to each other, in New York and shit.
Yeah.
So that
Hold
happens.
on. Ray, yeah, we talked to them too. That's how we learned what herbs here heal.
Yeah.
Because y'all told us.
Yep.
That's the only way.
Yeah.
So especially in the Appalachian area, you had a lot of poor whites, poor blacks, and the natives. We weren't mean to the natives. Y'all the one that told us what plant what.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the big balls. But
Well,
you know, the majority of white folks did hate Native Americans, but I'm saying there was a whole section. How do you think we learned what cedar trees do, what oak trees do, what sycamores do, what plants do what? Was from y'all.
Yeah. Well, during COVID, I had to homeschool my kid, and so I had to study history again, while reading him these things and doing the tests and stuff like that. And there was a lot of shit that I didn't know. You know, we like to be, we got to get down on the colonizers and all the different colonization races, but I like to put them in their box where they actually belong. The French got along with the Native Americans, did not slaughter the Native Americans, and did not colonize. They built trade posts up and down the fucking Mississippi and traded with Native Americans. Now, they did have black slaves, so I'm not giving them a pass, but everything is not all cookie cutter the same with everybody. It's like the English, the French, Spanish had slaves. The fucking, the Dutch sold them the fucking slaves. It's like, I want to persecute everybody for their piece of the evil. And to do that, we have to look at the real big picture and see actually what went on. Nobody wants to look at the big picture.
Yeah. I just think there's a lot. There's just a lot when it comes to hoodoo and stuff like that. I'm just like, I respect ATR practices, but people that say that you can't join them, I've had a stand-in offer for the longest time that I will pay for someone's ticket to fly down to Louisiana to fly down there and walk into a black voodoo priestess's place and tell them who she can and cannot initiate.
Yeah.
And let me film the whole thing.
Well, yeah, and the thing is, here
it doesn't work that way in the real world.
No. Here in New Orleans, there's a constant debate. Who's the voodoo queen right now? And the two possible voodoo queens we have now, white women. How'd that happen?
Why? Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Yeah.
How'd they get initiated? And one's like, New Orleans voodoo, and I think the other one's more Haitian.
Yeah. Now, I've been to voodoo ceremonies when I lived in Florida because people treat the Haitian people like crap, and I didn't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to go to different ceremonies, and well, that woke me up about 20 some odd years ago.
Yeah.
When you have a person that's mounted this far from your face, and you realize they're not breathing, you realize it's a whole nother thing over there. All that. I was like, I'll stay over here. Thank you. I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
There's some powerful stuff over there. And I'm like, no thanks. I'll stay here.
Okay, the indigenous witch wanted to jump in over here.
Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Hey,
My old name is Wraith Witch. I just go by indigenous because, well, my spirits told me to go by indigenous on here. And ever since then, a lot of my community has been a lot more interactive with me. So that's probably why.
A thing that I
just never.
Excuse me as I...
Go ahead.
Excuse me real quick, I gotta put my jewelry on.
Okay. One of the things that I've run into on TikTok lately in some of the debates that I've been having is it seems that a lot of ignorant people seem to think that indigenous means Native American, while they are an indigenous race.
There's a problem with that word actually because recently, if you guys heard, I'm the one who started the entire Coyote situation, saying Coyote is closed, and white people have been throwing a tantrum about it.
I missed that one.
So it spread like wildfire pretty much, but I'm where it originated from, with someone who still refuses to take Coyote parts off of their stuff. And at this point, I'm going to either have Coyote deal with you, or I'm going to separate you from your spirits, because they need my spirit's permission to even remotely exist on this land. So yeah, that's the problem with a lot. When someone said, my brain is still booting up, but my brain is also on, let's get this rolling. So, hold on. Give me 1 minute to process.
Sometimes you have to break in on Wraith. He'll keep going and going and going.
Oh, you know each other. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I'm following you. Let me see. Oh, okay. Now I'm following you.
I used to follow you way back when, but I couldn't find your newer account because your old one had been, what's it called?
He always try to spread that.
Yeah, I had an
He did
account. My first account had 65,000 followers, and they banned that. But then Uncle Birch 2, it's still out there, and I can't get in. And they say it's suspended still.
3 accounts I can't get in.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna be right.
Okay.
Okay, let's see.
So,
the
Uncle
thing
Birch
with
3.
indigenous is that when people say indigenous, they don't realize that, because people will say, hey, I'm indigenous, like they'll be Sami indigenous, or they'll be Australian indigenous, and because they use indigenous and not what's usually like over here we use First Nations and like Canada and America and whatnot. And then in Australia, they usually use Aboriginal. In Sami culture, I don't know what they use, but usually when they say just indigenous, things can get really mixed up. Like someone had said that they were indigenous and therefore they can use Coyote, except they were Sami indigenous, which means indigenous to Europe. And I'm like, no, honey, you can't.
Well, the thing that fascinates me more, I call it a cultural similarity. With regard to magic, spirituality, we over here, the Europeans, we're going to call it witchcraft. Drastically similar ideas manifest in the people even before people had contact with each other on the earth. And my ancestors used to say that the craft is heard on the wind and seen in the wild. Everything that is a craft constant should be seen symbolically moving in nature. It should be a pattern within nature. The wind is literally electrical energy floating around the fucking planet carrying ideas that gets into our heads. There's been countless times when somebody tried to file a patent for a product on one side of the planet the same day that somebody filed that same patent for that same product on another side of the planet. These ideas float around, and the reason that we all have similar ideas because it's all about this nature, and the indigenous people everywhere were connected to nature. So what I try to put to people is like the reason why I have a problem with people getting this terminology wrong is we miss the big picture. What was done to your people here in the United States was first done to the indigenous people in Ireland, in Scotland, and in Wales. And one of the techniques that they perfected over there was beating a child for speaking their native language, to the point where Gaelic, the Irish language, almost died off because children were beaten. And that's the same thing they did to Native Americans when they came here, because they found it was a way to break a person from their culture and alienate them from their culture. So like all these techniques that they did to your people when they came over here, they did it home before they even got here. They perfected those techniques, so they were, really good at their fucking colonization once they got over here. They colonized at home first.
One thing that's never registered between with colonizers and just people who are mixed, aka racists, homophobes, transphobes, is that it's so stupid and confusing because from my perspective, I've seen it as, hey, we want human rights. We want to be seen as normal people. Then these people are like, no, we won't give that to you because we feel like being a bunch of dicks. And I'm like, what the fuck? They're just asking to be treated like a normal human being. Like, is it that hard? Are you the... I don't even know. And then later on, I found out that white people apparently have this like murder gene. I'm not going to go into detail with it because I don't have the time nor the.
I wouldn't doubt that, honestly.
It's a gene in you guys that's like it causes a severe lack of empathy, and like it's just.
Well, now there's a problem there. The entire human genome has been mapped. There was a portion of it that hadn't been mapped until about 2 weeks ago. So the entire human genome has been mapped, and there's no genetic difference between the races. And my ancestors used to say that all of the knowledge of your ancestors is in your blood. Well, it takes science a few thousand years to catch up to what the ancients already knew. Now we literally know it's like a computer code in our blood, and everything that every human being ever experienced on Earth, right in here. Same information that you have in your blood, same information that I have in my blood. There's no, if we start to talk about a genetic difference in the races that supports white nationalism and all these bigotries and stuff, but the entire human genome is the same for the species. And I always remember there was just a couple years ago they did a study on ants, and they found the genetic memory of the ancestors of the ants in the ants. But within red ants, they also found the genetic memory of black ants, soldier ants, army ants, carpenter ants, the entire species of ant, not the subspecies. They all had the same DNA. What's that?
Do you have a link for this resource I can read up on?
I'll look for that one. I haven't. It's been God. It's been like 5 years or so. I'm sure if I like look it up, I can find it again. There's a separate study that last time I looked that up, I found a separate study that, and this one was more fascinating to me. Carpenter ants have a gene in them that they can switch on or off. And when the colony is threatened, a carpenter ant can flip that switch and emulate the warrior ant. They give off the same scent, the same vibration as the warrior ant.
I remember hearing about that.
Yeah, and then when danger subsides, they flip the switch again and go back to being carpenter ants. That's the thing that fascinates me. I need to find that because I believe there's a witch gene, and I believe everybody has it. I believe some people it's switched off, some people it's switched on at birth, some people at a certain point in their life the fucking light switch goes on. But we all have that capacity. It's just dormant in some people. And as a teacher of witchcraft, if I can find a way to flip the genetic switch, well, I'll be rich.
I wouldn't know so much about all that gene within magic because I grew up with my mother being doing a type of folk magic that I'm descended of, and I grew up in the redwoods. I went through several ceremonies.
Redwoods? Where are you from?
I'm from I grew up in the Sierra Mountains.
The Sierra Mountains. We lived close to there one time. It was the worst place in California we ever lived. It was there were Trump supporters and stuff there. It was really.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, fucking meth.
Oh me? when I went up last time I went up to my homeland, I see a lot of Trump supporters, and every Trump sign that I see, I just throw it. So I'm just like, hex you. I'm in my homeland, so this is my most powerful place. Hex you. Boom.
But I've never seen redwoods in the Sierras. They tend to be a coastal thing.
That's the homeland of the redwoods. When I refer to the Sierras, it's the Sierra Mountains go all the way throughout California. So
Okay.
the Sierra Mountains are as large, similar to like the Appalachian Mountains.
I mean, I spent most of my life,
the redwoods, that's their homeland. Redwoods can't grow anywhere besides that. They need the altitude and the type of fire density, the easy spark for fire, and the moisture from the sea. They need all of that to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I grew up over there, and I went through several spirit initiations done by spirits up there. When I was like 4, I was in the woods for like a month, and I learned from them. So
Yeah. Well, I spent most of my life at Pagan in Long Beach, LA County, and a theoretical nature worshiper, but there really wasn't much nature around. And when I finally left there, I went straight to Central California, straight to the Redwoods, the oldest state park in the country up in Santa Cruz, California. And them redwoods are nothing to be messed with, man. That's a serious fucking tree. I had never seen. I'm still blown away by redwoods. There was I remember the grandmother of the forest. I had a ritual inside her with 10 people with their arms outstretched, holding hands inside the fucking
Are you sure
tree.
that's the grandmother of the forest?
Yeah.
Are you sure that was the grandmother of the forest? Because I personally know grandmother redwood. Because grandmother redwood, she's massive.
Well, the grandmother of the forest is in Big Basin State Park. It's the oldest state park in the state, probably the country. So massive old fucking. So it was the grandmother of that forest, basically. I mean, redwoods do this thing where they give off baby tree, like they'll die off and they'll leave a stump, and then the trees grow in a ring around the stump. And it's just like a perfect ritual spot. All over the fucking forest. You find those everywhere, man. And I would just set up temples everywhere I went.
Grandmother Redwood is known as the crowning cathedral of Mother Earth, or that's what I've been told forever. So.
So I'm trying to think of the.
Here, I'll share some knowledge that I know about redwoods. Is that this is something that my mother always told me. Every redwood tree. Sorry, my speech neurodivergency. I speak fast. My brain goes fast. Speech doesn't catch up. So hold on. Okay. So every redwood tree is a powerful being, right? Everyone knows that. But inside of every redwood tree, there is a very dark spirit.
Yeah.
Inside of every last one.
Yeah.
Actually, funny thing is, if you've ever heard of stories of old loggers way back when, within
Widowmakers, yeah.
who were logging that country, they would a lot of times they would pass in tragic ways,
And
or
widowmakers will
disappear
fall
out
down
of
and kill you,
nowhere.
yeah. I mean, because the widowmakers are large branches that fall off the redwoods that used to kill loggers, and they fall from like 300 feet up, so they'll fuck you up. If they don't kill you,
Did
they
y'all
make
know
really
that
good staffs.
don't have lifespan?
With that,
Say that again.
Did y'all know trees do not have lifespans?
Oh yes, I know.
I did not know that.
They either, unless they fall during a storm or disease, they have no lifespan. That's why you use them to get rid of bloodline curses.
Huh. Interesting, interesting. So would your tribe be Ohlone then?
No, I happen to. I'm very mixed tribal.
Okay.
I am not registered because of complications with family, but I am Blackfoot, Seminole, and Cherokee with another two tribes, which are the Seminole are descended of, being Creek, and then Chickasaw as well, which I found out more recently.
Interesting.
But I happen to develop over here. Right now, I don't live in my homeland. When I say Redwoods, I also say homeland because that's my homeland. I grew up there. I currently don't live in my homeland. I live in the crack town of California known as Bakersfield.
Known as what?
Bakersfield.
Ooh, yuck. Yeah. We lived in
Yeah.
Grass Valley for a while. That was a bad place to be. Oh, God.
One thing that I've noticed is that because up in the Redwoods, you have some of the best air in California. I came down here and I literally, my health has diminished since I moved out from there. I'm just like, you know what, I need to get the fuck away from here.
Redwoods are not good for you. I remember I first moved straight to the Redwoods, and I lived in a place where the sun never shined, and I was in an apartment right over a little stream. It was a very pagan place to be, and I quit smoking, and I got this cough, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse, and I had never lived in a place where people picked up hitchhikers. I was from Southern California, but here in Santa Cruz, California, it was pretty common. So I started picking up hitchhikers. I learned some crazy shit from some of these people. And first guy I picked up, he was coming right down my street, and he said, I kept coughing, and he goes, "Oh, hey, you got the hack." I said, yeah, I got this cough. It just won't go away. He goes, no. You have the hack. I go, okay. This guy has something to say.
I just remembered that. Were you up by Humboldt County? I just remembered. One of my friends told me about Humboldt sickness. It's a weird sickness that in Humboldt.
What? Tell us, Witchfoot.
I gotta go now. I have a client.
Oh, that's
So,
quite a
I'll say-
client you have. All right. Thanks for coming on. We'll talk about
Jaden.
Widdershins later. Bye.
Bye.
I forgot your daughter. I used to follow her on my other account, but it got banned.
They're under tempered chaos.
I'll try and remember that. Okay.
Okay, bye.
All right, bye, Witchfoot.
Bye, Ray.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, we were in
Hit the X button. Oh,
we were in Central California, so it's probably about a couple hours from Humboldt, but Redwood. And so so the guy says, you have the hack, and I go, okay, this guy has something important to tell me. And he says,
You reminded me of something.
well, what he said was, you have the Humboldt hack. I go, okay. And he goes, you live in the Redwoods,
Yeah,
right?
Let me tell you, because I have
Yeah.
a few friends who are from Humboldt, and they always say that everyone who's not a local gets something called Humboldt sickness, and they can be sick from anywhere from like an hour to like a literal year. And
You can die.
It just has and goes. There's no virus. There's no nothing. It just happens.
You can die from it.
I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know because I'm a local. I grew up there, so
Yeah.
the climate up there is perfect for me.
Yeah.
Best air in California, but apparently people get sick when they move up there.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm amazing up there. I'm in my best peak condition up there. Over here, I'm like shit. I used to only get maybe 1 or 2 nosebleeds a year. Now I have 20 a year in fucking Bakersfield. And it's just that, as well as my skin is lighter. Ignore TikTok. TikTok makes me look lighter. I'm not doing that. It shows. And
Well,
then as well as my head is always dizzy when I get up and sit down. everywhere.
Mhm.
I'm just like, oh my god, I need to move back up there because that's where I belong. That's my homeland. That's the peak of my power. That's the peak of everything about me.
Yeah.
I need to be back up there.
So,
Yeah.
so the guy tells me, he says, so you have the Humboldt hack. And I said, okay. And he says, so you live in the redwoods, right? I go, yeah. He says, you don't see a whole lot of sun, right? I said, I don't see any fucking sun. And he goes, you have a fungus growing in your lungs that comes from the redwood climate. If you don't take care of it, you could die. I said, okay, how do you take care of it? He says, lay out in the sun. Just, that's it. Just get some sun. And nearby, the first meadow that I found, I didn't know it at the time, but it turned out to be a meadow on the campus of the University of California, Santa Cruz, which was a clothing optional campus at the time. I went out in this meadow and laid out, and I heard some giggling, and that's the day I met my first naked college girls. But I laid out in the sun. It killed the fungus or the mold that was in my lungs. I was fine. Anytime the cough came back, I just got some sun and it went away. But yeah, lack of sun, and you're probably going to die from the Humboldt hack.
The redwoods block out a lot of sun.
Mhm.
They really do.
Yeah.
That's actually one of Grandmother Redwood's ways of keeping unwanted pests out
Yeah.
of the way.
Well, there's a gas they give off too that kills off a lot of plants around them too. Kind of a poisonous gas. Crow has a lot to say.
Yeah. Those crows up there.
Yeah, that's our daily crow. He sounds like he's getting strangled a lot of the time.
That's a crow.
That's Crow, yeah.
Sounds like a very weird creature.
It is a very weird creature. Okay, I'm looking over here on YouTube. I almost forgot I was on YouTube. It seems like you guys can hear the conversation that's going on over here on TikTok, so that's good.
Unless you're a local, the redwoods can be really dangerous. Unless you're a local again.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, you know what? Why are all these people saying the redwoods are dangerous? I'm like, I'm totally combobulated over here. Like, what the hell? They're dangerous.
Hmm. Well, there's a lot of,
Because, well,
I mean, traditionally there's a lot of dope growing that grows on in the redwoods. That's one of the reasons they're dangerous.
That's the northern redwoods.
Yeah.
That's the northern redwoods. That's Humboldt, over where I'm at. I'm in the what's it called? I'm in the more, I want to say, south part of north. I don't know. I'm not good with directions and descriptions of directions, but I'm still sort of north of the redwoods, but still a little south, more south.
Yeah.
I
So
don't
we
know.
were in Central California. It was Santa Cruz, so it's like the start of the redwoods. And then all the way up to Humboldt, they just keep going. But I looked at it on a map and wasn't sure where I was moving, and I just saw a place on a map where the forest went all the way to the ocean. I said, I'm gonna go there. Ended up there for 30 fucking years, so it's a good place to be.
Grandmother Redwood has a lot of ways to deal with people. She is, how do I say it? Very not forgiving and break her laws.
Mother Nature tends to be that way everywhere, yeah. Don't fuck with Mother Nature.
Like when I was, I'll tell you my story. I say it more often now because people are starting to realize where my craft comes from and where I come from with this. So my story with this is that when I was little, I was young, the spirits led me out into the forest at the age of 4. I survived for a month in the forest. I learned their ways. At the age of 5, they started to become a lot more interactive with me. Sure, they took a liking to my mother was she practices our bloodline practice, which is a cultural practice of both native medicine and German Bible magic. She has a lot of the German Bible magic with her, but it still has the aspects of the indigenous medicine. So, I'm sure the spirits saw her, then they saw me, and saw potential within teaching me, along with her teachings. My mother gave me foundation. the spirits guided me, and then I built up the rest myself. So at the age of 5 is when the spirits started to become a lot more interactive with me. They started to take a liking to me, is what I like to say, because they would start to play around, such as wind spirits, fog spirits. There's one fire spirit that I will never fuck around with because I just don't like them. These fire spirits come around after either when it rains and then it instantly dries up and feels like summer heat, or after a wildfire. These fire spirits are fire elementals of the redwoods, and you just really don't want to fuck around with them. You don't.
So somebody's asking over here if there's alternatives to using coyote bones.
If you're not native, just have them aesthetically. You can keep them, just don't use them spiritually in any way. Don't give them as an offering to any spirits. Don't use it for any spiritual work, which means any form of magic or witchcraft. Yeah, just
So,
leave it alone.
Let me
Because
ask
once
you
start
this.
using it-
I've always wondered this question. So the coyote is the trickster spirit, yes?
Depends what tribe you ask, but it seems that coyote throughout all tribes has some form of trickery within it. In some variants, the coyote is a trickster spirit and it takes on the role of the creator. In others, it's a trickster spirit and a bad omen.
So in other traditions, like let's say Norse paganism, they've got Loki, the trickster. Some ATRs have Elegua, the trickster. Other ATRs, Lucero, the trickster. In all traditions, the trickster is the first contact. Like in order to speak to any of the other spirits, like let's say Elegua. So Elegua is the first of the Orishas. To speak to any of the other Orishas, you've got to go through Elegua. And that tends to be pretty common in trickster spirits in other traditions. So I'm wondering, in yours, does that hold true? Like, do you have to go through the coyote to talk to the other spirits?
You don't per se have to go through coyote within my any of my traditions, but rather coyote is an ancestor of mine. That's why I work very closely with it. So, in some native traditions, I can't say for all because I don't know all 800 tribes and all the traditions. I can only speak for myself and what I know, as well as the stuff that I picked on from other people of other tribes. We all have a similar foundation, but eventually it starts to branch off into its own thing for every single tribe. That's why if you, let's say you were to ask the Cherokee versus the the Lipan Apache, right? These are going to be very different because the Lipan Apache are down southwest and the Cherokee are northeast.
Makes sense.
There's a similar foundation for all. Yeah, there's a similar foundation for all of us, but eventually it branches off into its own thing, such as smudge. That's a similar foundation. Pretty much all of us have some form of sacred medicines that we would use for smudge, and they all match.
So
let's go to a more extreme. Let's go to a more extreme view, like the Inuit from up north, right? They're still Native Americans, or the Brazilian natives. There's going to be a lot of differences right there, but they're both Native Americans.
makes sense. It's like me, like in Palo, I have to go to Lucero, and he's the trickster, and so I give him my petition, and he sends it off to the Kalunga. And Alegua is pretty much the same character in ATRs, but I see that pretty often in all of the traditions I've studied, that the trickster is the first one, and I was just always wondered if that was the same with Native Americans.
Not in my knowledge, no. But
Okay.
with us, I'll share what little I can here. So, hold up, Spirit Witch has a question here. Was 50 cards on? Does that mean Now, if you were gifted them, that does mean you can have them, but do not use them for any form of spiritual practice. Okay? I'm already dealing with a lot on my plate with the Coyote situation because the same person still has it on their vulva staff and their vulva headpiece, and I'm like, I literally just talked to you, and my elder just talked to you. My elder talked to them, who is not a medicine man, talked to you and said that, hey, this is okay, and you still go on. Anyways, so where was that? Oh yeah. So I'll share what little I can share. We would normally go to the animal spirits and the plant spirits before we go to the creator. The creator created them, yes, and the creator created us. But they are all, the creator left them here for us to learn from them, and therefore we ask them or use them before we go to the creator. Or we use them in forms of the creator, such as using eagle feathers. I can say this because it's very open to an extent. Eagle feathers are a way for us to fly to get to very easily. You don't need an eagle feather, but it does help out. Yes, room guidance of the Norse. That's who I'm talking about.
I'm gonna go grab me something to drink. Keep him talking.
Okay, I'll hear you. Anyone have any questions for a Native American witch? That's the best I can say. May I add that a native elder is not so pleased with her either, her actions. She says one word, her actions say another thing. Oh, nothing much happened. Okay, power of the occult. I'll explain it to you. So the reason why is that coyotes are not found anywhere in the world besides the Americas. And only Native American tribes are found in the Americas, as well as coyote hold very significant hold pretty much most tribes, and are therefore closed practice. Again, it's spiritually, not aesthetically. You can have coyote fur to have it for aesthetics, for decoration, for what's it called, for research and whatnot. But once you start to step into the spiritual world with that, that's you're going to find. Look, how do I say this? We are not the ones telling you that Coyote is closed. It's actually rather Coyote using us as a conduit of Coyote is closed. So you're not only hearing it from us, but you're hearing it from Spirit directly as well. Which is actually what frustrates me quite often, because they're like, I'll listen to the Spirit, and I'm like, okay, well then listen to us, because when you listen to us, you listen to that Spirit. How do you incorporate plant spirits in our magic for protection? Well, what kind of plant spirits? Off the top of my head, just listening. Oh, back to the part where why Coyote is closed. So yeah, Coyote is very significant in a lot of our cultures, as well as Coyote is literally found in the Americas and nowhere else.
Is YouTube? They're asking, is King's Root bloodroot? I am not sure. I've never heard that
I know
name
what
for.
bloodroot is. I don't know.
Yeah, I've never heard another name for bloodroot. I don't know that. Do you have any reading suggestions on advanced dream magic? Probably not. I do not believe in dream books. I believe that the dream world is built up on subconscious symbols that we have derived from our experiences. I don't believe that anybody else can interpret your dreams. There is a portion of the dream world that is universal symbols that we all hold in common, but the majority of it's like you see a house in your dream. It doesn't necessarily mean the things that house would normally mean, like security, safety, that kind of thing. It means more the experiences you had in that house. And nobody can really interpret that to you because nobody's had your experiences. In Slavic,
What about
Serbian,
devil's snare? someone's talking about one of my favorite flowers: Devil's Snare, Angel Trumpet, Datura, Little Apple of Death. It's one of my favorite things. Moonflower, one of my favorite flowers. What about Angel Trumpet? Hi, Glitter Muffin.
Slavic Serbian, any suggestions on who it could be? What are those books that you got?
It's one book. It's I don't remember the actual name.
There
With
are.
witchcraft in Russia and Ukraine, 900 to 19. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
Marta's
don't
got a
have the
couple
name
good
right.
books. There's for Slavic paganism. There hasn't been much info, but there's a Facebook
Well,
group.
now there's more.
I think there's a couple of TikTok pages for Slavic paganism, and there's a few books floating around out there, but can't remember the names right there. Slavic witchcraft, Russian black magic. Yeah, that's one of them. Are you making candles?
How do you
Me,
use
no.
plant for spiritual protection? Well, blue ring octopus, you're gonna have to go into more detail with that. That's a very vague question. Like, are you referring to like a specific plant, or are you looking for any ways to use just pretty much any plant for spiritual protection? A little more detail would help out. I love.
So over here on YouTube, I think you can hear all of this going on, but we've got the Indigenous Witch joined us on our live over here on TikTok. The shirt says, "My wife is Ukrainian, nothing scares me." It's true. She's fucking scary.
What?
Any poisonous plants that deter practitioners? Well, you can go live with me right now, Power of the Occult. Here, let me see. Let me bring you on.
I mean, I wouldn't say this deters practitioners, but rather it's used for witch wars or wars of practitioners. Belladonna.
Yeah. Belladonna is also one of the ingredients in the witch's flying ointment too. So everything's got multiple purposes. But Power of the Occult, if you want to come on, send me the request and I'll click on the thing. I don't see you in the list here, so I can't invite you in, it seems.
I know that your question is aimed at Uncle Birch, but I can give you. If you look down a bit on my videos on my page, I used to have a series. I still might continue it. A series of plants and their medicinal uses as well as their magical uses. You can learn quite a bit from that. And just remember, do not take my videos as, oh, that's all. Look into it after you look at the herb and what I say. There's more depth to it than what I just say on my videos. A video only has so much knowledge that you can share.
What do you mean you're too small? Power of the Occult. Well, get on here and you won't be small. We got a good crowd
They
today.
don't have enough followers. They don't have enough followers to join. You need 1,000 followers to join.
Oh yeah, which bitch? Yeah, my next class is launched tonight, probably around midnight. The level 1 course starts again, and the level 2 course starts tonight. So you get over there to gumroad.com/witchschool, WITCHSKEWL. Set up an account and follow me. And when the class launches, you'll get a notification. You don't want to join the class until it launches. There's another class that says May 1st, but it needs to say May 1st, 2022 in either level 1 or level 2, depending on which level you're getting into. But tonight's the night. Beltane Eve right about now. And yeah, you can find the address under my profile right there. Black Moon tonight. Any suggestions? Yeah, plants. Clear. Actually, clear than plant. Clear your fields, burn the old crops, and of course, we're not all farmers, but this is the language that we use in paganism. It's like farming. We're planting other things. We may be planting our bank account. Maybe planting our future,
Well,
but
it's
now's
in Taurus,
the planting
so
time.
It will
Oh yeah.
affect the bank account.
Definitely a good time for planting regarding finances and that kind of stuff. the stuff that you want to grow in the next year, like your bank account. Hi, Uncle Birch and Marta. Glad I got to catch you all. Hey, Glenda, over there on YouTube. We're on TikTok and YouTube simultaneously, and I've been neglecting the YouTube people because we have people over here. But why, Damon Fain or Power of the Occult? Why didn't you send me a request? You know you want to go live with me right now. You know it.
They can't send a request. They need more followers.
They need more
TikTok
followers
has,
to send the
just
request.
have-
Oh, you mean?
No, they canceled the request
Oh,
because they can't go live with
So
you.
if you don't have
Oh.
1,000 followers, you can't go on my live? That's fucked up.
Correct.
That's
It's
fucked
the same as if you were to go on your own individual live. You can't go live without 1,000 followers or more.
That's so weird.
You
I've
use
noticed on some
any
of my accounts I
variety.
can go 10 minutes, and one of my accounts I can't. I think it's based on the followers. But you can, I've got 2 accounts I can do 10-minute videos on now.
I'm waiting for the app to give me the what's it called, the you know that series setting where you can clump a bunch of videos into a series of videos.
Yeah.
Playlist. That's what it is. The playlist. I'm waiting for the app to give me that because it'd be so useful for me considering my herbal series. It'd help people to find it easier. That way they don't have
Yeah.
to scroll throughout my whole page.
I did a couple of those last night when somebody was mass reporting me. I just took like 5 of those videos, as long as they were under 10 minutes, in bulk, and I strung them all together and posted them. I don't think you can see them right now because I'm waiting for my appeal to go through, but they're on the page, technically. Do you remember what was in your transformation incense? It was mentioned in your transforming poverty video. I'm gonna have to look that one up. I don't remember that offhand. That video is pretty old, but yeah, I haven't had to make stuff in my shop in a while, so I might have to actually consult the recipe book. If you do StreamYard, anyone can join you via the link. Okay, I don't know if I've tried StreamYard yet. Right now I got 2 phones. I got one on TikTok and I got one on YouTube, so I'm doing it rather low tech. But that's because I haven't found a multiple streaming service that works like advertised. And a couple of my friends, it's not StreamYard, it's another one, but they say, if you pay for the product, it works better. And I say, no, I've been in computers for a long fucking time. Your demo should work. If your demo doesn't work, I'm not going to pay for your damn product. The demo should work better than the paid product, actually, if you want to get people to pay for your product. But I haven't had one that I made it past the demo stage, so I got 2 phones on 2 different platforms. People mass report me. For a long time it was the Christians. It may still be some of the Christians, but now there's this one witch that spends all of her time fighting with people and threatening to hex them and saying she's hexing them. She's been doing it for years now, and I called her out on it, and we went back and forth all night long, and she's been reporting my videos all night long, and got several appeals in. We'll see.
Honestly, the drama will never end on this app, and I'm just like, I've been here for 4 years. I watched for 2, then the next 2 I was interacting. I stalked all the witches on here for 2 years before I actually went into my own account, start my own stuff, because I was just drifting around looking at I'm like, witch talk? What's witch talk? I'm like, oh, holy mother of Christ, what the fuck is going on over here? It's a damn dumpster fire. Then I see a few people, such as Witchfoot, Celtic Pakistan, Eden. I'm like, hey, here's some genuine people. And then I see all these people like, light a bay leaf on fire to get rich. I'm like, what? What? Rosemary can replace everything. What? Huh? If rosemary can replace everything, might as well just buy a bush of rosemary and use nothing more than that.
Yeah.
And it was just like, and then they're like, quartz can replace anything. I'm not gonna say anything, but a lot of things, yes.
What?
Oh my goodness. And then
in your Native American practice, what is the purpose of white sage?
can't share that.
In my uh, in my studies, there's a Cherokee at the head of my witchcraft tradition to this day. Um, I've noticed that I've noted that the majority of Native Americans I've ever talked to speak about white sage being used to create the proper atmosphere for the Great Spirit to enter. And then you got all these white people out here using white sage to cleanse the space. And it doesn't seem to be, of all the Native Americans I've ever talked to, that is the purpose for white sage. Uh, Making the proper atmosphere for the Great Spirit to enter would be along the lines of what I would call invoking, and clearing a space would be what I call banishing. And they're two very different things. So I always like to, ask actual Native Americans that kind of question, because I give people shit. I tell them they shouldn't be using white sage anyways. It's cultural appropriation. It's been largely depleted because of all the New Agers using it, and also they're using it improperly.
I'll say this: I can't share it because I have the knowledge, but I'm not able to share it because I do not have permission from an elder, and it is not within my boundaries to share. I can share in my folk practice about it, but in general medicine, I can't. As well as white sage will not work how it doesn't work how all these New Agers thinks it works, nor any of these witches, actual witches, it works. And as well as a property of it is that one thing is that it's not going to work, period, for a lot of things that you would normally use it for without at least a drop of the blood. Blood is a big thing. You ever hear of the one drop rule?
One drop rule? No.
Yeah, it's a bit. It goes into the politics of who's native, who's not, but instead of politics, let's take it to spirituality. As long as you have one drop of native blood, you have the potential to learn and to strive for your own culture. Two things that must be met for you to be quote unquote native within spirituality is that you strive for your culture and you have at least one drop of your native blood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't have any
with
of that.
A lot of our stuff goes like that. Things will not work out if you do not have if you do not have the blood, basically. Like how we would use white sage, we can use it however we use it, and then white people could, let's say we were to give the teaching to white people, right, or African American people, or anyone else who does not have the blood. It would not. Well, here's an analogy. Think of our blood as a key and the material we're using as a lock, and then the property of that material being what's locked behind that door. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, that's one of the only bloods I don't have. They redid the algorithm on my DNA test, and then I reran it, and I'm a mutt. I'm everything but Asian and Native American.
There's a problem with a lot of people that do have that one drop of Native American, and they just use it like, I'm Native American, or to either say, you can do this, you can do that, and blah, 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 and go on and on and on and on with complete bullshit. There's a lot of people that do that, and I'm just like, you're not Native, honey. You aren't. I'm sorry. We don't claim you.
Oh yeah, people do that. They find out they got a little bit of African blood, and they think they can use the N-word now. No.
Oh yeah. I have African blood in me most likely because of the Seminole in me. So, but I don't do all that. I'm like, oh cool, it's in me. If I find out I do, I'll look into the culture and learn a bit. Then, boom, I know a part of it.
Did you ever hear about what
like
was?
Right here.
Did you ever hear of the 5 civilized Native American tribes? I had never heard that. I only learned that like a year ago, man.
The Chickasaw, the Cherokee, the Seminole, and then I don't remember the other two tribes. But the Seminole, funny thing is that I don't know why we're on the 5 civilized tribes, considering that we literally made ways escape slavery. And then the Cherokee, there's a lot behind that, and I'm not going to go into that. there.
Well, do you know what made them civilized? According to the white people?
The fact that they
What?
there is a lot behind that. I don't know so much about it. I haven't done my research on it too much. I know a bit, but not all of it.
The 5 tribes that the white
the
people
Cherokees-
considered civilized were because they took on African American slaves. That's what made them civilized.
Right.
And I never knew that.
Right.
But when the Irish arrived here, they were not
Cherokee-
considered white. And there was a whole book about how the Irish became white. And how the Irish became white is they embraced racism. And then they got to be like accepted into the club. Even though they're whiter than everybody
The
else.
Cherokee- Now, everyone, I want to make this clear. When we talk about Native Americans in slavery, we're going to have to say the other part of the story. Now, don't get me wrong. There were bad people. There's bad people everywhere. There were bad people in the tribes who did treat the slaves bad. But in a lot of 90% of the time, the natives that did have slaves instead would consider them as family. And I'm not talking about in the white person of, oh, we consider them as family. I'm talking about we would use them to replace, like, let's say, a lost family member. We would incorporate them into our, our clans and whatnot. A lot of the time. So don't get it mixed up. We did not treat them like white people. I do have Cherokee blood in me. I also have Seminole blood in me. I can tell you for a fact that the Seminole were the most, what the white people back then would say, radical. Because they would either take in slaves to release them, to free them, or there's just so much history behind that. And really, I just advise that you look into the history behind it rather than anyone's words for it and making your own assumptions. Because there's a lot of people that do that. And I'm just like, oh, there's so much behind it. And I can only give you so much knowledge about it.
Makes sense. Well, hey, people, I've been here for 107 minutes. However long that is. I should probably get out of here. Got to do other things. But I wanted to get on here because it's Beltane Eve. And it's the last time I can tell people that you got to get over to gumroad.com/witch school. WITCHSKEWL. The classes launch tonight. If I'm on the ball, I'll launch them around midnight tonight. Level 1, you got to look for level 1 2022 or level 2 2022, depending on which level you're taking. But both classes will be launching sometime tonight. Thanks for joining us on Beltane Eve. It's been a great show. Had some people come on, a lot of traffic, a lot of comments in there. If you want to see the full video, you go over to YouTube. It'll be posted there. You won't see my guests, but apparently all over here on YouTube could hear them. So I'd like to thank the Indigenous Witch for coming on, and Grammy Druid and Witchfoot and you all. Thanks for coming on. And I don't know, do you celebrate, is this time of year special to your people? No Beltane kind of things going on? All right, well, happy Beltane anyways.
Beltane.
Get some.
Well, thank you.
All right, blessed be. Thanks for coming on.
I love it.
Okay, y'all. As our ancestors used to say to remind us of the troubled times through which they came and the breadcrumb trail that they left you to follow. Merry meet, merry part, merry meet again, y'all. Happy fucking Beltane.